Hello, everyone, and we have some great news for you, at least if you're a Solana investor. Very bullish on Solana now, and I think they might be on the verge of the next leg up. Why? Solana's new phone. And it's not just that they came out with a new phone, it's the fact that in just a few days, they crushed the Saga's first year sales day. And in fact, they passed it on the first day. They received over 25,000 pre orders immediately after the announcement. Now, obviously, people are expecting the phone to come with an airdrop. If they don't do an airdrop, it will be like a rug pull on the faithful. But regardless, basically, out in one day, 25,000 pre-orders on not like an iPhone or a big brand phone, but just on a little known phone. Very excellent. That means like a lot of new people might actually be coming into their ecosystem. Think about it. It's great word of mouth. And they're making profit on it too. Great word of mouth. Like people are going, hey, your phone doesn't look like mine. What is it? It's a Saga phone. Why do you want a Saga phone? Well, I get free money on my phone. Isn't that like the best advertising? So like they'll tell their friends about it, their friends will be interested in it, and then everyone will actually be interested in the Solana ecosystem. And of course, there will probably be airdrops. Of course, it's a chapter 2. It's probably going to be better than the first Saga phone, or at least it should be. And by the 30-hour mark, they're basically pre-selling 1,000 an hour, and for something like a Saga phone, that is crazy. And of course, if you compare it to their first phone, the Saga sold less than 2,500 units in its first year since launching in mid-2023. So this is a breakthrough. A lot of people have the Saga phone. I don't know if they actually like the Saga phone or not. I'm going to assume it works like any other phone because I think that's the best assumption. But 30,000 pre-orders in the first 30 hours. Now, I'm very interested to actually see if it sells out and it goes for thousands of dollars on eBay. And I want to see what kind of airdrops they have on the phone. In fact, they'll probably have airdrops on the old phone and the new phone, which is what makes it worth so much. They'll probably have some Saga only drops. And that will be very, very interesting to actually see. I think they're the first movers on this. And I think other layered 1 networks can actually capitalize on this too. It's not only Solana that can use this tactic, others can actually use this tactic, and actually seeing the success of Solana on this tactic, I'm willing to bet that a lot of other people will actually borrow this tactic for both sniping users off Ethereum and creating their own users. Looking at you, Charles, maybe you should make a Cardano phone, or if your ego demands it, a Charles phone, because I think people would buy it as long as you have a couple of airdrops or some incentives on that phone. So it's only a $450 price tag, which makes it much, much cheaper than the initial 1,000. But we know that if it wasn't for the airdrops, no one would buy the phone anyways. So even if they priced it at $1,000, I still think they would have gotten a lot of pre-orders. Basically, it was Bonk that took the old phone that helped the old phone take off. And there's like Myro and a plethora of new coins coming. In fact, like these Solana projects are probably fighting for spaces on the new airdrop of the Saga phone because that will get their project in front of people. In fact, I think to get on the phone, Solana should charge its project a price because that's really, really good publicity for your project. And I think it's a great way to promote the ecosystem through hardware sales. And it's also really nice for word of mouth for Solana. So that's why I think Solana might be on the verge of another leg up. And I wouldn't be surprised if this phone actually took Solana to like $140, maybe even $150, even before the real bull run begins, because we're still stuck at like 41,300, 41,400, slowly edging up after the last dump. But Solana could actually operate in a new way if this phone really, really takes off and helps its ecosystem. Now, China has an illegal crypto trade. Yes, the government does not allow you to trade crypto, and they will pwn you if they find out, but I know a lot of officials do this too, but there's a lot of under-the-table trading, and this could be a warning to the United States government. If they try to hamper crypto too much, people are not going to listen to them, and they're going to do illegal crypto trading anyways, because if people are willing to circumvent the Chinese government to do it, you can bet Americans will be willing to circumvent the American government because the American government is not quite as scary and big brotherish as the Chinese government. I'd much rather be in an American jail than a Chinese jail. And most likely, if you get caught in America, you'll probably just be paying like a hefty fine. If you get caught in China, you might be sent to the gulags. So where are they doing it? China's illegal crypto trade thrives in laundromats and cafes, and it's very hard, even for the all-seeing Chinese government big brother, to actually monitor every laundromat and every cafe due to this. So this is like, just kind of a new development. I think it's been going on for the last couple of years. And I think like the government does know it. They know they can't really shut it down. See, because government officials take a part in this. See how the thing about how corruption works is like corruption needs to start at the top. If you have just a couple of small people being corrupt, they can be found out and gassed out very easily. But if the corruption stems from the top, it's very, very hard to root it out. And I think the Chinese government knows that it starts at the very top. I'm pretty sure government officials are doing it. And so they're not going to be too interested in prosecuting other people that are actually doing it too. So people are actually conducting transactions in commonplace locations in order to circumvent the country's prohibition on cryptocurrencies. And according to sources with the knowledge of the transactions that the Wall Street Journal quoted, traders convene in public areas, including snack kiosks, cafes, and laundromats, in order to exchange wallet addresses, coordinate bank transfers or cash payments or cryptocurrencies. And there's very, very high incentive not to screw the other person, because if you get the other person mad enough, they'll tell on you and you're going to be in really big trouble. And also like in this illicit activity thing, I think there is kind of like a little bit of like honor among thieves. I mean, these people aren't really thieves. The government just doesn't really want them to transact crypto. But as long as everyone gets along, no one really gets caught. And China, despite the ban, is a hotbed for crypto activities. And I do think like the People's Bank of China, they all know about this. Eventually, they're going to turn the tide on crypto, but they're not quite ready yet. They still want more control over everything. And of course, the traders are very much successfully avoiding the restriction by completing transactions in ordinary settings. So there's like no suspicion actually going on. You can easily like swap wallet addresses, just copy addresses and stuff. They probably make the preparations at home. Just do the exchange when they actually meet, say like hi, like have a dinner or something like that, and then slip it under the table, where like it's very, very actually hard to catch them. So this is what the crypto activity is like in China, and it is still very, very hot for crypto. They might say like crypto is bad, on the forefront just to please the party, but underneath the counter, my friend, they are trading crypto in China, and that includes everyone, including the common folk, the businessmen, and probably several government officials. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if several high provincial government officials were actually making themselves rich off of this. So that is going to be extremely hard to root out in China. And if America goes this way, you could see people doing the same thing. And I don't think federal prosecutors will be nearly as successful prosecuting people for this in America as they are in China, because the state's not nearly that powerful here. And plus, there's going to be protests and everything, which are not allowed over there. So a much, much messy situation. And the American government could definitely learn from what's going on over there and be a little bit more lenient on crypto if they actually want to collect some tax revenue. Because the more unfair you make these regulations, the less people that are actually going to report. So if you make lenient regulations, you'll probably get the most tax revenue from crypto. The SEC is starting to prosecute Binance. It's for illegal securities and staking. Basically the exact same thing as Coinbase. I think Binance gets a small advantage here because the Coinbase case comes first, and the judges are very, very well aware. The judges talk to each other. They're very, very well aware of actually what's going on right now. So the Coinbase case is probably going to influence the Binance case very, very heavily, and both cases are probably going to go the same way. We know the judge in the Coinbase case is pretty much pro-Coinbase. I'm not exactly sure which way the judge in the Binance case leads, but since the two cases are back to each other, whatever happens in the Coinbase case is probably going to massively affect whatever happens in the Binance case. And my guess is if the SEC will actually appeal regardless of which case they actually lose first, I think they have a bigger chance of losing against Coinbase than Binance, because I think there's an American bias against Binance here, because I think the government, the DOJ, everyone's been trying to kick out Binance to protect industries at home, and Coinbase is an American-based company, so I think they'll fare better in court. And plus, Binance has more fraud allegations, where Coinbase just has the securities allegation, but the SEC case against Binance does not involve fraud allegations, just the securities allegations. So I'm glad that the Coinbase case comes first, because that puts it on a timeline to have it be resolved earlier, which will positively affect the Binance case, obviously. But the SEC is starting to go after Binance, Binance.us, and CZ. It's going to be a long fight in court. I think the SEC is going to eventually lose all these cases, but they're determined to harass us for as long as possible. But I'm going to be laughing in their face if they actually lose all these cases and lose all their jurisdiction and power over crypto. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.